Good morning, friends. Today our topic is computer hardware, and till now we discussed different types of hardware in our computer systems. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss about some more hardware, especially motherboard, and its functioning. What are the different functions of a motherboard? How it can operate different functions. So let's start. So, what is a motherboard? The motherboard serves as a single platform to connect all the parts of the computer together. So basically, it is a single platform, and using the motherboard, we can connect all different parts of the computer system. And motherboard connects CPU, memory, hard drive, uh, video card, sound card, and other parts also. And so if you want to, or of course the optical devices also. So if you want to connect all the different parts of a computer system, this is possible using only a motherboard. So motherboard basically connects CPU, memory, hard drive, optical drive, video card, sound card, and different other ports. So all the other parts are connected, all different parts are connected in a computer system using motherboard. And it is can be considered as a backbone of a computer. So it can be considered as a backbone computer system. So without the motherboard, we cannot able to perform any operation, because the motherboard provide basic integrated circuit for all of the basic integrated circuit by which we can connect different parts together, and using motherboard different parts connected together and work as a single unit. So this is the diagram of a motherboard. You can easily see that these are the important points which I discussed here. You can see that this is the motherboard. Most of them are aware this fact that how motherboard looks like. So it is a basic circuit which provides a computer system which were basically used to connect all the different parts of the computer system. Now you can see that this is the motherboard here. So these are the three important points. So use of the motherboard is basically used to connect CPU, memory, hard drive, optical drives, video card, sound card, and all these different ports are connected using motherboard. So motherboard basically provide basic circuit where to interconnect all different parts of the computer system, and it is considered as the backbone of a computer. Without this, computer system cannot able to work. So this is the important hardware you can see here, and there is a fan also over CPU, which basically used to cool down the CPU or processor. So this is our motherboard. Now the features of motherboard. There are certain features of a motherboard, and question may be asked in an examination regarding to the motherboard. So the motherboard comes with the following features. Motherboard varies greatly in supporting various types of components. Normally, a motherboard supports a single type of CPU and few types of the memories. Video card, hard disk, sound card have to be compatible with the motherboard to function properly, and motherboard cases and power supply must be compatible to work properly together. So that are the some basic function features of a motherboard. So first of all, motherboard varies greatly in supporting various type of the components. So motherboard is used to connect different types of component, and it support different types of various types of component also. And normally in a motherboard there is a single CPU, and there are few types of memories: RAM, ROM, etc. And cache memory, of course, is one of them. We already discussed cache memory, L1 cache and L2 cache are the type of the cache memories, and different cards of video card to increase to show video, and hard disk, which is secondary storage. So this is also so these also are these also are the connected using motherboard. And motherboard different power supply is also there. Different power supply connections are also connected with motherboards. And so motherboard basically provides us important integrated circuit which is used to connect different parts of a component, different parts of a computer system, such as CPU, different types of memories, different video cards, hard disk, sound card, etc. These all are connected with a motherboard. And uh, when they connected to a motherboard, then motherboard is compatible to work properly together. So these are the some important points regarding to a motherboard. You can note down these points that are the features of a motherboard, and there are some popular manufacturers. These are the some common manufacturers which manufacture different motherboards. So learn all of these names. These may be asked in your examination that what are the popular manufacturers of a motherboard. Intel is most popular company which provide motherboard. Intel, Asus, Open, Abit, 5-star Gigabyte, MSI. These are the name of the companies who provide motherboard. Now there is a little description here about the motherboard. So let us take different points one by one. So first of all, motherboard mount is inside the case and is securely attached via small screws through the pre-drilled holes. So security is there, and motherboard is mounted inside the case. Second thing is motherboard contains port to connect all the internal components, and using motherboard all internal parts are connected to each other, and it provides a single socket for the CPU, whereas for memory normally one or more slots are available. For RAM there are normally two slots are available, and for CPU there is only a single socket on which CPU is mounted. So for CPU there is only one single socket, and whereas normally one or more slots available for memory, means random access memory, RAM, for RAM. And some other important points are: motherboard provides port to attach floppy drive, hard drive, or optical drive, or ribbon cables. So if you want to connect floppy disk or optical disk or hard drive to a computer system, so there are so this can be possible only using motherboard. So motherboard provides different port by which we can attach different floppy drive, hard drive, and optical drive. And motherboard carries fans and special ports also. So there are different special ports using which different input and output devices are connected uh, to computer system. And there are also they are also to able to take power supply. So motherboard, there is a special slot for power supply also. So motherboard, different ports for floppy drive, hard disk, optical disk devices are there. And there is a peripheral card slot in front of the motherboard, using which video card, sound card, and other expansion card can be connected using the motherboard. So if you want to add in a computer system video card or a sound card, so there is a special peripheral card slot in which you can easily connect different sound card or video cards. On the left side, motherboard carries a number of ports to connect monitors, printers, mouse, keyboard, speaker, network cables, etc. So on the left hand side, motherboard carries a number of ports to connect monitors, printers, mouse, keyboard, speakers, and network cables. Motherboard also provide USB ports which allow compatible devices to connect. So USB port basically refers for universal serial bus, and using a USB port we can connect our pen drive, or uh, we can connect also nowadays USB keyboard, USB mouse are also very much popular, and we can directly connect using motherboard. So as far as pen drive is concerned, it is works on plug in and play out fashion, and digital camera, pen drive. These are work in a plug in and play out fashion. And when we coin the term plug in and play out, it simply means that if you want to use a particular pen drive in your computer system, just connect it to a USB port, and software is automatically installed. You don't need to install its drivers separately, and it works when directly when you connect it from your USB port. So there is no requirement to install drivers for for that particular pen drive or particular digital cameras, and they can work on a plug and play. Just you plug that pen drive into your computer system using a USB port, and they can play in a very fast manner. So plug-in and play out is the basic concept of a USB drive. So most of the now hard disk, most of the peripheral devices such as keyboard, mouse support USB drives also. So they can connect using USB, and when they connect to USB port, we can able to uh, run their devices. And one more important thing is that whenever we add a hardware to our computer system, then it is mandatory to install the drivers for that particular hardware. For example, for sound card. So if you want to add a sound card into your computer system and just connect it to a motherboard, then there is a requirement to install the drivers for that particular sound card. Drivers are nothing but only the but only the that software part of that hardware, which are essential to install in our computer system, by which particular hardware or particular you can say that particular hardware system can perform in our computer system. So this is not an uh, last thing that just you connect a hardware and that hardware can perform in a computer system. First of all, you connect a hardware to your computer system and then install that driver. Another example of driver is whenever you want to connect a printer to your computer system, so installation for that is mandatory. If you don't install the driver for that particular software, then it cannot work. So now here the topic is plug in and play out fashion. Plug in and play out fashion means just you connect your hardware to a USB port, and it works smoothly without and it seems so that there is no requirement for the uh, software installation or driver installation separately. It works automatically. So that is it is called as plug-in and play out fashion. So that is all about motherboard. I hope now you are able to understand what is the concept of the motherboard. So now let us take a quick revision of different types of computer hardware used in our computer system. These are the different hardwares. Let us see it. These are the different hardware of a computer system. Now all hardwares are discussed. All hardwares are already discussed in our previous lectures, and in this lecture we discussed about motherboard. So almost all topics are covered. So mouse is there, and motherboard is there, CD is there, RAM is there, processor is there, and keyboard is there. So these are all are the computer hardwares. And one more thing about the hardware is that, which is most common, hardwares are the physical parts. So every part which we can touch or feel is called the hardware. So motherboard is also a hardware, mouse is also a hardware, keyboard is a hardware, RAM is also a hardware part. The wires that are used to connect all different parts are also a hardware. Processor is a hardware. All these are the hardware. Different cables are used to interconnect different parts are also a type of hardware. So these are the hardware, and hardware can be divided into four basic categories: input devices, output devices, secondary storage devices, and internal components. So input devices contain keyboard, mouse, etc. Output devices contain printer, monitor, plotter, etc. Secondary storage devices basically relate to hard disk, CD, DVDs. These are the secondary storage devices. And internal components are CPU, motherboard, RAM. These are all are the internal components, and also are the part of computer hardware. So these are the different parts of hardware. Now computer hardware parts is over now, and this is the completion of chapter number 2, which is related to computer hardware. In this chapter, basically our focus or our aim is to find out different hardware in our computer system. And there is a question always asked regarding to the computer hardware, basically related to input device or related to our output device. And there is always a question asked from RAM and ROM, and regarding to storage devices. So all the storage devices all of course all are the part of hardware. So a question will be asked definitely from different types of um, memories. And memories can be categorized into two basic types: auxiliary memory and primary memory. So these all are the parts of hardware. So our next topic is basically chapter number 3 is from chapter number 3, and that is the types of software. And software are nothing but only the logical parts of a computer system. And we know that computer can be divided into two basic parts: hardware and the software. That means physical part and the logical part. So hardware are the logical physical part, and software are the logical parts. Now next topic is computer software. As I told you that computer software are the logical entities in our computer systems. So a software is a set of program which is designed to perform well-defined functions, and a program is a sequence of instructions written to solve a particular problem. So first of all, smallest unit in is instruction, and a program is nothing but only the collection of instruction, and software is nothing but only the collection of programs. And there are two types of softwares: system softwares and application software. So first of all, let us discuss the definition of the software first, and after that discuss the definition of different types of software. So what is a software? Software is a set of program which is designed to perform a well-defined function. So they are designed to perform well-defined function, and of course they are the logical entities. And what is a program? A program is a sequence of instruction written to solve a particular problem. And there are two types of software: system software and application software. So today in this video, yeah, we discussed we are going to discuss only about system software, and in the next lecture we will discuss application software in detail. So what is system software? As the name says, that are the software designed for a system performance, designed for computer system, or proper functioning of a computer system. So system software is a type of computer program that is designed to run a computer's hardware and application program. So basically system software are designed to run a computer hardware. Using system software, different computer hardware can run easily, and different application program can also run. For example, if you want to make a word file, or if you want to make uh, if you want to edit an image, then this is not possible without an operating system. So first of all, your computer should have an operating system. Without an operating system, you are not able to open a program, whether it is related to an image or whether it is related to typing a certain instruction in a word. Or so one thing is very clear, that Microsoft Office is a application software, because application software are those softwares which are designed to perform a particular application for user. And Photoshop is of course is an again a application software, but we are able to run these software only because of the operating system. That may be Windows 7, or that may be Windows 10. So here the Windows 7 or Windows 10, these all are the types of the these are the types of the system software, because they are because using this because using these softwares we are able to run computer hardware and different application programs. So these are so that's why these are called the system software, because these are designed to perform they are designed to run the system. So these are not very specific to the to the user or particular application. So these are system oriented, that's why they are called the system software. And system software are generally prepared by the computer manufacturers, and system software serves as the interface between the hardware and the user. So these software basically provide the interface between the user and the hardware. For example, operating system again. So operating system is nothing but only that provide the interface between the user and the hardware. Whatever you want to do with your computer system, so the access of the interface is provided by your operating system. So if you want to save a file, or if you want to run a file, or if you want to uh, delete a file, or if you want to search a particular content, these all are other types of operations are provided by your operating systems. And some example of system softwares are operating system no doubt is a system software. And the second is language processor, compiler, interpreter, and assembler. So these are the types of language processor. And why they are called the language processor? Because every high level language required at least a single language processor, by which a language high code, by which HLL means high level language or code, which is a human understandable code, can be converted into binary code, or we can say that machine understandable code. So there are two types of code in so there are two types of code in a programming in computer system exist. First one is human understandable code, and second is machine understandable code. As we know that machine only understand 0 and 1, it means the binary language, and it cannot understand the language which provided by a human being. So every programming language is human understandable form, because we can understand the code syntax by reading it. And but for machine only understand only the inform code in forms of the 0 1. Then what happens that that code should be converted into 0 1. That's and computer actually calculate it on 0 and 1, and after that that result will again be converted into machine understandable form to human understandable form. So what is the role of language processor? In that case, language processor basically converts the human understandable form to machine understandable form, which means high level language code to machine understandable form. And there are three different types of language processor. First of all, compiler, second is interpreter, and third is assembler. So what is the meaning of compiler, what is the meaning of interpreter? Actually both of them convert high level language code into machine level language code, but there is a small difference between them. First of all, compiler converts a whole code into a single code or a single time. It means suppose there are 10 lines or 20 lines in a program, then 10 or 20 lines are converted in a single time, or in just a second, that into a machine understandable code. But in interpreter convert it line by line. First line is considered, and it is converted into a machine understandable code. If there is a found an error, then that until and unless you remove that error into a program, so until and unless you are not able to so until and unless you have not remove that error into that program, uh, that next line will not be converted into machine language code. So that is the role of interpreter. So interpreter convert line by line, or compiler convert the whole source code into a single time. So that is the basic difference between compiler and interpreter. It is asked so many number of times in our examination. And third one is assembler. So assembler are basically related to assembly language, and assembly language is a basically is a language which is used to convert, which is written in different symbolical forms. So in assembly language there are different symbols, and these are also machine dependent, but code is written in form of symbols, not in the zero ones. So assembler used to convert assembly language code into machine language code. Means code that are written in assembly language into 0 1, and it is different from high level language code, because assembly language is a machine dependent code in which the code is written in terms of in terms of certain symbols. So it is hard to understand and hard to implement as well as. So these assemblers are used in generation 2 of computer systems. And nowadays high level language is compiler and interpreter. And the difference between compiler and interpreter is that the compiler converts the whole language into a single time, while interpreter convert it line by line. Now the computer operating system, that is the definition of computer operating system. uh, what does the computer operating system? Basically, an operating system is a program. These are some important points regarding to an operating system. So it is a computer operating system. It is a program which with following features. An operating system is a program that acts as an interface between the software and the computer hardware. So it acts as an interface, and I have already told you what is the meaning of interface. Actually, without operating system, it is not possible to give command to a computer system. So operating system receives command from user, and it then forward it to the computer hardware or the CPU, and according to that, certain operation can be performed in our computer system. So operating system uh, basically provide an interface between the software and the computer hardware, between the software and the computer hardware. So next is, it is an integrated set of specialized programs that are used to manage overall resources of and operations of the computers. So next important point is, it basically work as a resource manager. Different resources that are available within the computer systems are managed by an operating system, such as memory, such as input and output devices. So these different types of resources, whether they are connected to a computer system, whether they are perform well or not, and how they can be used in a computer systems, are all managed by our operating systems. So these we can say that operating system work as a resource manager also. And third is, it is a specialized software that controls and monitors the execution of all other programs that resides in the computer, including application program and other system softwares. So there are different types of system software also other than operating system, and there are different application programs so that are that we can run in our computer system. So the role of the operating system is to manage all these application softwares, as well as different other system softwares, whether they are perform well or not, or whether there is an error or not. So all of these types of management is done by operating system. So we can say that operating system uh, work as a application program manager or software manager. So the basically operating system manage all other different software, um, whether these are application software or whether these are system software, and operating system is itself a system software. And next and last topic is objective of the operating system. What is the objective of an operating system? So why we create an operating system, and what is the purpose of purpose of an operating system? So the objective of the computer system, there are certain points. First point is to make a computer system convenient to use in an efficient manner. Without operating system, it is not possible to use a computer system in an efficient manner. Second is to hide the details of the hardware resources from the user. So basically, operating system hides the details of hardware from the user. And the third is to provide user convenient interface to use a computer system using operating system, such as we can see different types of menus, different types of symbols, graphics symbols, icons, by which we can directly access our computer system. So it is provided by a operating system also. So it provides a convenient interface to use the computer systems. Next is it acts as the intermediary between the hardware and the user. This point is already discussed. And the next is to manage the resources of a computer system, means it acts as a resource manager also. and to keep track of who is using the which resources, granting resources request according to a resource, using the mediating conflicting requests from different programs and users. And there is a possibility that different parts of different application software programs want to access of a particular resource at the same time. Then it is a work of an operating system to provide that resource set according to some certain algorithms or some certain conditions. So operating system decide that which resource is allotted to which application. And last point is to provide efficient and fair sharing of resources among users and programs. So using operating system basically provide us to share different resources among users and different programs. So these are the objectives of the operating system. So we can say that in totality, operating system work as a resource manager. Using operating system, we are able to run application program, and it acts as an interface between the user or a source application program and a hardware. Now, these are some important points. So just write it in your copies, and in our next lecture, we will discuss other application softwares and some system software also, such as assembler, compiler, and interpreter in detail. Thanks for watching this video.